Welcome to my latest battle report. It's 2,000 points of Necrons versus Tyranids. So today on the channel we'll be fighting in amongst these ruin city streets, and there's not a spot of power arm in sight. It's going to be Xenos on Xenos carnage. All this lovely terrain that you see in front of you is custom made and painted by James from March of War.co.uk. Marchofwar.co.uk, including the barricades, the bunkers, the barrels. Everything here is your stuff.
Everything's mine. It's so pretty.
Say hi, James March of War.
Hi, James from March of War.
Thanks for coming back down again.
Lovely to be here as always, mate.
This time you didn't bring me any new terrain.
I didn't.
Because you're working on some new terrain.
We are working on all sorts of new terrain.
When you get the new terrain down, can I have some of the new terrain, please?
Of course you can have some of the new terrain.
I love your new terrain. Because it's like the premium level stuff. It's like bespoke stuff.
It is.
And it should mention, actually, I don't think I've ever mentioned it, but I kind of helped you with these ones.
You did?
You said, well, what did you want? And I was like, I want some statues and like bunkers and things. I kind of like, what did you want?
You steered me.
I steered you
were
in
my
the direction.
muse.
I want some broken woods. Broken
Yes.
woods would be really nice. I want more bunkers and things and some raised bunkers.
Various
That would
sizes.
be really nice. In fact, guys, anyone in the comment section right below the sort of terrain that you'd like to see in Winter's SEO battle reports, and the one that gets thumbed up and stuff the most, we'll try and make James make. And then you can actually see it on battle reports and things. How about that?
That sounds good, man. Definitely.
You're going to get 1,000 comments.
There's going to be so many comments.
There's going to be a chunk of comments, but one of them is definitely going to rise to the top. I mean, I like the idea of some Necromunda-esque stuff or inside building type stuff. But anyway, we're fighting 2,000 points, Tempest of War. I am playing with my Necron dynasty, the Cadian dynasty. We don't know who's on what side yet, and you've brought some of your High Fleet Kraken because how many points in painted Tyranids have you got?
28,000.
About 28,000 points of painted
Still some
Tyranids.
stuff to paint as well.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a lot. I mean,
a lot,
do you ever get to a point where you think, I've got enough now?
Yeah, and then I buy some more. Then they release new models. Luckily, we only need 3 parasites. So
You've got the parasite guy.
I have brought the parasite.
You were painting him up last night.
frantically painting him up last night.
I've still got mine in my box next door. I need to paint him.
Well, this was kind of what it was like. I got to Friday last week, and it was like, I'm going to take my parasite. He hasn't been out yet, and so it was like, better go and open him then.
Yeah, I need to do that one. So, Tempest of War, we are playing with Chilling Rain, and that means all the extra rules are turned off. The way this works is you get 5 points if you control an objective, 10 points if you control 2, and 15 points if you control more than your opponent in the command phase, starting from command phase 2. And then the secondary orders will be coming out from the box. Essentially, the Necrons will be getting orders throughout the game, and the will of the hive mind will be influencing its influence throughout the game. Maximum of 45 on the primaries, 45 on the secondaries. Xenos on Xenos action. Who is the greater alien? Who is the biggest threat to the galaxy? It's Tyranids, but who is the greater threat to the galaxy in this particular game? Who knows? So before we go and have a look at our armies, let's have a quick word from my sponsor. Hi, I'm Winters, and did you know that you could become a channel member and just give me money? It's crazy, it should be illegal, but there it is. Instead, however, you could subscribe to deploymentzone.tv, where I give you something in return. I give you videos, and there's podcasts, and there's a Discord, and there's events and things. So you could become a channel member and just throw money at me. And if you see me walking by in the street, you could just throw money at me as well. That would be nice. Or subscribe to deploymentzone.tv, where you get stuff back. Right, this is 2,000 points worth of Necrons. It's a single battalion with a Lord of War in the back. I've also spent an extra CP. It gives me 12 CPs to play with. The Necron type chapter tactics things, I'm doing 2 things. One is a free 6-inch move before the game begins. And the second thing is everything scores. Everything here scores. And I should also point out that these bases that you see on my glorious miniatures here, they're all from marchofwar.co.uk as well.
They are.
You make loads of different bases.
I do make loads of different bases, and you've done a fantastic job of painting them up, mate. They look brilliant.
Actually, I don't know if by the time this video has gone out, I've actually done the painting tutorial yet, but because of my eyes, because I'm old, it's all speed painting and OSL. What makes them really pop, I think, is the lovely bases. From muchofwar.co.uk. While we're on the shout-outs, it's the first opportunity I've had to play with this is the Death Reaper limited edition model from Den of Imagination Painting Studios. I did a video on it. I say limited edition because they only cost 100, and I'll put the link below, but they might be sold out. And I'm going to be running this as the Nightbringer. That's why I asked them to make it for me, and they made it for me. So this is going to be the Nightbringer. He has Gaze of Death, I think it's called, and I'm going to give him Cosmic Fire. Essentially, what that means is if he gets within 9-inch range of any Tyranids, he'll start popping out lots and lots of mortal wounds. And being a Catan, he can't take more than 3 wounds himself per phase. So if you want to kill him in one turn, you need to do 3 in the Psychic phase, 3 in the shooty phase, and then 3 in the punchy phase, and then you could kill him in one turn, but he's kind of hard to kill, and he blows up on a 4-up, and he does loads of more wounds when he blows up as well. I've got a Destroyer Lord. My Destroyer Lord is going to be floating around with the Orb of Eternity. That is a pimped Resurrection Orb, and I've given him the Warlord trait, which is -1 damage to all incoming attacks 1 minute. Enduring Will, it's called Enduring Will. Basically, it's got Disgustingly Resilient, or the thing that Dreadnoughts have. So that's his Relic and Warlord trait. On my Technomancer, I've given him the Veil of Darkness, which is 1 different redeploy that he can do. I haven't given him the plus to make Canoptics hit better, but I have given him the Canoptic Cloak. He's got a lovely cloak on, so he can move around a lot quicker. Because essentially a Technomancer is an apothecary. You can get units back up again. That will be his job. And with the Res Orb there, hopefully I get a lot of units back up again. 2 units of 20 Warriors, 20 with the Gauss Flayers, 20 with the Gauss Reapers, 1 unit of Scorpec Destroyers, 1 unit of 9 Scarabs running around for interference essentially, and 1 unit of 6 Wraiths there. I did have 15 points left over. I didn't know what to do with it. So I've given him, are you listening, James?
I am.
Because this is going to take me, this is going to be painful to say. It's called the Cryptogeometric Adjuster.
Excellent.
Okay.
We won't get that wrong at all today.
He's got the slide rule adjuster. And basically, if you get within 12 inches of him, he can point at a unit, I think, in the command phase and give it -1 to hit.
Right.
Okay, I don't think there's any dense cover on the board as well, so it might actually come into effect and we might actually be able to remember it. I've got the Monolith here for some crazy redeployment shenanigans that can also deep strike in if I want to, and I've given the Monolith 4 Death Rays because you can take an army with Death Rays. Why wouldn't you take Death Rays? What a cool 1950s kind of gun. So Monolith and Catan, hopefully doing some of the heavy lifting here. The Warriors scoring, and the Wraiths and the Destroyers running interference. That is my plan in this Tempest of War. Let's go and have a look at the bugs. Right, this is 2,000 points of James's 28,000 points worth of units. You're running the High Fleet Kraken because they're painted that way.
They are.
I mean, Leviathan is the way to go, but Kraken's cool. It's a battalion. You've got 12 CP. Kraken have +1 AP when they charge.
Yep.
So they're nastier on the charge. And then there's the secondary adaptation, which you can choose to swap out before the game begins. Do you know what it might be?
I haven't chosen yet.
I
do have a tendency to do the 6-inch pre-game move on my little bugs.
Right.
But it depends how I'm feeling and where you are and where I am, because you don't need to do it until you've deployed.
You're right, yes. I like the one, there's one that you're not slowed by any terrain at all.
That's good.
That one's really nice. It's basically Death Guard have that one, right?
They do, yes. They're next to the one.
But half of Death Guard, it's chonky and they're moving over stuff. But when you've got like everything on foot, I find that it comes into effect all the time. I like that one.
Yeah.
And there's one for +1, that's very nice. And one
there's
for +1.
There's the one that does the 3-part, isn't there, as well? The armoured exoskeleton, so you don't take the negatives for firing heavy weapons.
Yeah.
You don't take that one.
That one's
used,
quite nice.
And that's been quite useful.
Yeah.
Not as useful today.
So, would you like to talk people through what you've got here?
I would, yes. So, we have the Hive Tyrant.
Yes.
Who is the Warlord.
Yes.
And has
edit. He's got heightened senses warlord trait, so he rerolls the hit when he makes an attack, which is basically all hits, and he fights first. And you've given him the shard gullet, which is a nasty impact.
Snazzy venom cannon.
I mean, that's strength 12, minus 5,
Flat
5 damage. minus 5. I was thinking my monolith with the 2-up save might be all right, but if you hit my monolith, wounding on 3s, I won't get a save.
3 shots, hitting on 2s, re-rolling hits.
Yeah, absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
So that's what he's got, and some psychic powers, which we'll get. I mean, that's got psychic powers. The Trigon's got psychic powers. The Neurothreat's got psychic powers, and the Zonethreat's got psychic powers. Yep. Basically, you've got a couple of catalysts, a couple of the Lure, which is the Kraken one for re-rolling charges.
Psychic Scream in there.
Psychic Scream. We'll get to them when the game begins.
That's cool.
So what else we got?
Right. So going through the HQs, we have the Neurothroat.
Yes.
Who is another Neurothroat? Nothing extra on that one.
Yes.
We have the Turvagon.
Big Mama.
With all her baby bugs.
Have you upgraded her at all?
I haven't upgraded her at all either.
Okay.
No, she's as is.
Yeah.
We've got 2 units of 30 gaunts to go with her. Just with the standard guns, because they're good now. Yep, they are viable.
And she can give birth to another 10.
Who are hiding under the table.
Who you've already got down there. And she can also heal 2d3 2d6 in a unit. And then there's of course that strat as well where you can put D3 another D3 plus 3. So
hopefully it's like, who'd bring an army that keeps getting back up?
Who would do that?
Who'd do a thing like that?
What else we got?
We've got some more troops over there. We've got the 20 Hormigants.
Yep.
They have toxin sacs and adrenaline glands. So they
6s to hit auto wound,
+1 strength and +1 move.
Yeah, so they're quick.
11-inch base move.
And on Kraken they're quite good.
Yes, definitely.
Yep.
3 units of Tyranid warriors, just 3 blobs of 3. What you see is what you get.
So 2 have got venom cannons.
There's a venom cannon, and a barb strangler in the 3rd.
Okay.
Then we've got, most of the rest of them have got, they're not the Death Spitters, they're the other ones. They
look like Death Spitters.
They are Death Spitters, they're not Devourers. Welcome, James.
Death Spitters, strength 5 minus 2.
That's the jobbies, yep.
All the rending.
And there's a couple of them have got rending claws just because they're what I've got ready.
Okay.
We've got blob of 3 brain bugs.
Yes, too good not to bring.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing these days is you do need to really keep your synapse alive.
Yeah.
They are just brilliant.
Well, they're synapse and the warriors are synapse. Didn't you actually upgrade
I've upgraded the Harpy to have synapse.
Yeah.
Because the problem I was finding was, if they've got an 11-inch move and they sprint up the table and you get onslaught on them and get advance and charge, you've got like a 32-inch turn 1 threat range or something horrible. And then they're out of synapse and they die and run away and freak out. So.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a crazy long move. And then there's the Kraken strat, which means you can advance 8 inches.
I don't know if you can auto 8 and then onslaught. I don't know if it says, I need to check if you can. It's not come up yet.
Yeah, you can onslaught.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of advancing, they move an axe 8. It's just, the thing is about it is once they've moved 11 and then auto 8'd, are they still in synapse range to catalyst them? So putting catalyst on the floaty bug of doom is a good idea.
Totally, yeah. And I've got, and between the warriors moving up to get halfway up the table to keep my links on everywhere.
Yeah.
I've been really concentrating on keeping my link alive.
Yeah. For those that don't know Tyranids at the moment, certain of the HQs and big bugs have something called synapse. So long as you're within 6-inch range of that, everything's fearless. And the link between 2 synapse creatures is 12 inches. And then you can put orders and psychic powers up and down the link.
You can slingshot things around between
Exactly.
them. Yeah.
It's like the neurons of the brain firing and sending messages here, there and everywhere.
I genuinely
the
think
the hive mind.
It feels really fluffy. It feels right. It's... Yeah.
When they first come out with a rule and it's got a diagram in it to explain the book.
It did worry me. I
looked at that rule and I thought, oh no.
Oh, here we go.
And then I read it. And then I played it and I thought, this is really good.
It's all right, it works. It feels so fluffy.
It feels fluffy. I haven't met a Tyranid player yet that doesn't like it. I'm sure now I'm going to get a dozen comments from a Tyranid player out there who hates it. But the neurons of the hive mind snapping away and making the bugs function as they should function as one homogeneous whole is a beautiful thing.
Last bits.
Yes.
We've got a Death Leaper.
Yes.
We've got the new Parasites.
Yes.
Who I haven't run yet because I was painting him frantically. So we shall see how many rules I can forget for him.
Yes.
And then we've got a Venom Throw.
Mr. Wiggly Arms.
Yeah, Mr. Tickle.
Yeah. So a good screen of loads of little bugs. A good showing of synapse across the line. Not a lot of shooty in this list. It's more get up in your face and punch. But I mean,
it's a strange. The shooting I found really peculiar because like you just there's no shooting. There's wait 30 strength 5 shots.
Yeah.
It's like actually all of a sudden that is a bit of shooting.
The little bugs are actually quite shooty, and this thing of course
is very
nasty,
shooty.
and the Harpy's pretty
good,
nasty as well these days. So a fast list, a Kraken list against a semi-fast Necron list. Who will win? Hopefully, I don't know. Let's go to deployment and hopefully me, but let's find out. Deployment. What am I saying? Deployment, edit. And we're deployed for this 2,000 point game of Tempest of War. I've paid the CP to put my Scorpec destroyers in reserve so they can come out of the monolith with a strat if I want to, or strategic reserve come in on the side because 2 of these objectives are very close to the side of the board. I'm looking, can someone comment below, please? Because I don't think the Catan gets the Dynasty stuff, the relentless expansionist eternal conqueror thing. So all my army will get a free 6-inch move before the game begins, once we figure out who goes first.
Once we've solved it.
And I don't think the Catan gets that. So loads of warriors. Everyone is in 6-inch range of the Technomancer, so he can get some up if I go second. And you've put your Lictor in reserve.
Yeah, Deathleaper.
Deathleaper. He's the Deathleaper in reserve. Hormagaunts down here, Termagants all swarming around Big Mama. And you basically spread out all across the line, making sure that there's synapse all the way down the line. This is an interesting decision. Are you sure you want to put him there? Because monsters cannot go through... Actually, what we'll do with him, because he's a monster and they technically can't go through ruins... We'll say, because it's going to screw me as well, that you can go through these massive entrances. Yeah, they're big entrances. He can duck down. He can
squeeze through.
He can squeeze through. Yeah, and she can go through them. But going through walls, they're not breachable for things like the monoliths or the big monsters. So unless there's a massive doorway, can't go through.
Happy with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to say that you can go through the big windows as well for you?
What, for the monolith?
Well,
no, the monolith will go around the streets, but all the rest of my stuff is infantry beastal swarms.
You're fine anyway.
Yeah, the Catan I think has the fly keyword. Wraiths just move through stuff anyway. I think I'm good.
You're fine. Cool.
I think I'm good. Any decisions? Any thoughts on your deployment? That's a no. Right, let's grab a dice and find out who goes first. After you, sir. Good luck.
Good luck, matey.
You rolled a 4. I rolled a 2. It's matched play, so Tyranids must go first. Do you know what your secondary adaptation is going to be? Have you worked out your...
I'm going to do the 6-inch pre-game move on the little bugs.
6-inch pre-game move on the little bugs. Yep. That's going to be your thing.
That's my thing.
And I've got a 6-inch pre-game move as well, but we'll come back at the end of the movement phase in turn 1 after everything's pre-gamed a little bit.
Yep.
And here is the will of the hive mind. Seize ground, secure no man's land and extend battle lines. Is essentially take 2 objectives in no man's land and hold your own objective and 1 in no man's land. These are basically auto-secure. Capture my enemy outpost, the Necrons. That's unlikely in turn 1. Here we are after the Tyranids movement phase and pre-game moves. Knowing that the Tyranids went first, I sort of scrunched up and put a smite screen in front of the monolith.
Cool.
And this is where the Tyranids are. Now, a couple of things. Your pre-game Kraken thing was a free 6-inch move on the little bugs.
It was, yeah.
So that's done.
So that was those ones and the Hormagants.
And the Synaptic Imperative this turn, once per battle round thing.
Goaded for slaughter.
Goaded for slaughter. The warriors have told everything that's in Synapse range, and everything is in Synapse range, to when they hit on 6s explode in close combat. So hit better, which is a glorious thing. Would you like to talk people through other things that you're thinking about?
That happened. So we did bounding advance on the
Hormagaunts,
which gives them an auto 6, but also means they can advance and charge.
Nice.
So they're right up the table. They also got reroll hit rolls of 1 passed on to them from the Hive Tyrant.
Wow. So Hormagaunts all the way up the table, ready to charge, and rerolling hit rolls of 1. And remember, at Kraken, they're AP -2. This is going to be brutal.
The Parasite 16 to put him into about an 8 to 9 inch charge on your little bugs.
Okay.
We did opportunistic advance on the Hive Tyrant.
That's why he's all the way up.
Which is why he's all the way up. So
he
that
won't
gives him
be
the
able
auto
to
8.
charge. It gives him the auto 8 move, but he won't be able to charge.
And he can shoot his gun without the penalty.
Correct, yes.
And unless he gets his psychic power off,
yes,
he won't be able to charge.
So pressure with him as well.
Fingers crossed.
Nasty.
We did the Neurothrope passed his 3d6 pick the highest onto the Brain Bugs.
Yes.
The Tervagon did +1 to hit on this unit of bugs.
Yes.
And that's it.
That's about it.
That's it. These guys all wandered forward.
So that's a good example of the hive mind spreading down through all the organisms, telling them to hit better. And now
run faster.
And run faster. And now we're going on to the psychic phase. Starting off with Onslaught on the Hive Tyrant, so he can actually charge. Goes off. And now he's going to smite on a 5, and that passes. 6. D3 mortal wounds on the little scarabs. And take 2 mortal wounds. Any more smites coming up anywhere?
Then we've got the brain bug smite involved with their mega smite.
Okay.
So that's 3d6, pick the highest with a +3.
+3 because there's 3 of them. It says pick any 2, I believe.
It does.
Can't
so
you
I'd
do
probably
that?
do that, and that's still a super smite.
It's still a super
not
smite.
Perils.
Yes.
Cool. So we're now on d6 +3 on the little bugs again.
Please roll low. That's about as cocked. That's not low.
That's not low.
That's 8 plus the 2.
10.
10 wounds so far. Okay.
Tervagon. Tervagon is going to do her catalyst, which she's going to put off onto the Hive Tyrant.
Hive Tyrant. That doesn't work. That's called a perils.
Command point. Yep.
I like the way you switched dice there.
Just in case, no, but they weren't lucky.
No catalyst on the Hive Tyrant. It's got a 4 up in Vun, but no shrug. No. Interesting.
And then Neurothroat. Nobody in range of anything, so I think he's out of there.
With Scarab bases having a huge number of wounds each, 4 each, you only wiped out 2 bases there.
2 and a bit. Sorry.
But you can't reanimate. It's only in the shooting phase, and it says it's not necessarily mortal wounds. It's only in the shooting phase and fight phase.
Right,
or something.
got you.
Anyway, so now you're spending a CP on Scorch Bugs.
Yep.
So this unit of Termagants can get in range and fire everything into the warriors.
Yep.
And you hit on 3s with that unit, which is okay. But you're also wounding on 3s because you've upped the strength. So hopefully this is nasty. AP -1. Wraiths aren't infantry in cover, but we're beasts. So we actually get the improved cover.
You're alright.
So we ignore your -1 and have our normal 3-up save. And then there's reanimation happening. So 1 base dies and doesn't come back. And 1's on 1 wound remaining. After the anti-infantry fire rinsed into the ruin and killed a Wraith, now we're going to get the anti-tank fire from the Harpy. 2 heavy venom cannons, 6 shots. And only 3 hit. Strength 9, toughness 5, 3s to wound, 2 of them wound, and I do get 4 up and vulnerable saves. And I make them both. Interesting. Yeah. The little guns kill 1, the Harpy none. But she does have some Stinger salvos as well. These will hit on 3s. And wound on 4s. And only do 1 wound. And I fail that save, which kills 1 and does it reanimate. Doesn't reanimate, but almost does. James, we touched. You don't have to say sorry.
I knocked your dice in mid-roll was more what I was bothered about.
James, where are you putting your big gun?
I'm going to put the big gun into the Wraiths.
Into the Wraiths, not the Monolith?
No, not the Monolith.
Oh, interesting. Trying to take them out then. This hits on 2s right on the Hive.
With rerolls.
Yeah, on the Hive
Which is lucky, because he does that every time.
Strength 12, this relic cannon.
Is it on 2s there?
2s to wound. AP -5, 5 damage.
Yep.
That's crazy. 4 up and vulnerable saves. Command point.
Yes.
I'm okay. Race weathering the anti-tank fire there. Coming down the line, these warriors are obscured behind a ruin, so we're coming to these warriors. Are they firing into the Scarabs or the Wraiths? Scarabs. Changing targets. This one's got a heavy venom cannon as well. Which has D3 shots, yeah. For 1 shot. Which hits and wins on a 2. I won't get a save either.
It doesn't wound on a 2, does it? Strength 8, Strength 9.
Strength 8. These
are Scarabs. I'm thinking Strength on a 6. Don't worry.
Yeah,
it wounds on a 6.
That's
so
2 wounds.
2 wounds.
2 wounds through. And then you got 6 shots of the Death Spitters.
Oh, maths.
3s to hit. And these are strength 5, so they'll wound on 3s. I won't get a save from these either. And whoa, yeah, there you go. 2 more wounds. We got there in the end. You kill a base. Does it reanimate? No. Wraiths weathering the firepower there, and as we sweep and look down the line, everything else is either out of line of sight or range. James from untitled.co.uk brought a very short range army here.
Very short.
Which really wants to nom. So talking about nomming, there's no biomass to consume here, but there is a threat to the hive mind, and you wish to charge. Hormagaunts
into the unit of warriors.
Right. See, interestingly, I could overwatch potentially, but there's line of sight is still a thing, and half of them behind the ruin can't see you. It's very few
You're
shots.
in the ruin, so you can shoot.
So I'm not going to... Well, not the ones behind.
I suppose so, yes.
So I'm not going to overwatch.
Okay.
I think it's a very short charge.
It is a very short charge, but if I get long, I might get on that top.
And that's an 8. You're in. And you'll be all over that objective, yeah.
Yeah.
Your winged Hive Tyrant, he may now also charge.
He's going into just the bases of little gribbly jubies.
Okay, Scarabs. Stop dice don't count. Harpy? I mean, there is a Catan here.
Oh, that sounds like a really good way to feed you a harpy.
Yes, it does. No, please charge my Catan. Please.
Last one is...
Please, James. Please.
You just want to kill someone with your new toy.
It's probably going to fail the charge. Go on. Give it a
go. No, I'm not being baited. No. Parasite into the bases of
the little gribblies as well. Yeah, okay. No, that's a negative.
No, it was before you...
Do you want to command point that?
You know what? Yeah, go on then. Let's command point that. No.
No, but thanks for spending the command point. So the charge of the Hormagaunts is complete. They come through the ruin and descend into a rank of warriors. Normally I wouldn't be that bothered. I mean, they hit on 4s and wound on 5s. They're puny little Hormagaunts. But they've been given +1 strength because of adrenal glands, and they're cracking. So now they're wounding on 4s at AP -2. And then they've also got 6s explode with toxin sacs, and 6s auto wound with toxin sacs, and 6s auto explode with the warriors. So every 6 to hit
is one hit
2
and one
auto
wound.
wounds.
No, I don't think they get 2 auto wounds. I think you get
6
additional hits.
Yes.
So you get one that you have to roll to wound.
Right.
One of them that auto wounds.
Have you got the dice ready?
No, because it's 60 dice. We need to dig out a big more bucket
I haven't
of dice.
got that many dice.
Need bigger hands, and it's only half of them.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Half the dice, 4s. And re-rolling the 1s anyway, because there's this Hive Tyrant right there. That told them to hit better. Yeah. So, right, here we are after the re-rolls. Need to find all the 6s. A few moments later. These hit.
Yep.
These are the 6s.
Yep.
So they auto wound. Toxin sacs.
Yep.
And 6s explode.
For additional hits. So then all these hits need to roll to wound. Yep.
And these are wounding on 4s now because of adrenal glands. And these are all AP -2. Got to make a lot of 6s. See, if you kill the squad in 1 round of combat, I won't get to reanimate all 20 of them. 5 minutes later, here we are again. This is all the wounds that came through. I've got 5 left.
15 go.
Out of the 20, yeah, they're all dead. 1 round of combat from some Hormagaunts, and you've wiped out 260 points of warriors with ease. So here we are in the aftermath. They're beginning to climb up the side of the monolith. It's Titanic. It can fall back and shoot and stuff.
It can, but it was just a bit of extra movement, more into your lines, still grabbing that objective.
I can hit you as well.
I don't know how good monoliths are in combat, and I'm really praying they're not like spectacular.
You're about to find out, because I'm not going to pay to interrupt. You will in a minute.
Yes.
Because your Hive Tyrant gets to swing at some scarabs, and I don't think you can kill all of them.
I don't think you can kill all of them.
Hive Tyrant, 5 attacks with Lash Whip and Bone Sword, hits on 2s and wounds on 2s. And I don't get a save. How much damage is it?
They're flat 3.
Flat 3. So 1 base was on 2 wounds, it's dead. That's another base, and that one's on 1 wound. So I've got a base left on 1 wound. You only killed 2 bases.
We don't get a tail attack.
Oh, you don't get a tail attack?
No tail attack.
Can I reanimate one of the 2 bases that died? Yes, I can. Yes. So we only killed 1 base.
1 base.
Here's a beast. Now I can fight back. So, yeah. I'll start with these scarabs.
Yep.
And the 1-on-1 wound I'll detonate for a CP. Boom.
Okay.
And don't roll a 2. That's really cocked. And it does, I think it does D3 mortal wounds, or whether that's the 3. So that could be 3, or it's 3 anyway. 3 mortal wounds. No catalyst.
No catalyst.
No catalyst.
Makes a big difference.
Right, shall we find out what a monolith does?
Oh, I don't know if I want to know, but I'm going to find out.
It's got this gate here.
Yeah.
And it will just suck you off the table.
You get sucked off?
You do. And it auto hits
Okay. In
And
combat?
it auto hits. It just pulls these little bugs through.
Brilliant.
It's strength 8 though, so it'll wound them on 2s.
Okay.
And each of them is -3 damage.
Cool. That's 5 dead bugs.
Yay! I did tell you it was mean in combat.
Do you know what? That's horrendous if it was against something that was good.
I know, it could have killed your Hive Tyrant or something. I told you not to pile in. Right, anyway, that's the end of your turn. Oh no, my little scarabs. I forgot to do the actual fights with the scarabs.
Oh yeah.
It's 4 left, so we hit on 4s, but I'm looking for 6s too, because scarabs auto wound on 6s. It's just what they do, because it's like sandpaper. You know, you can see the ones on the bases, but then they get smaller and smaller and smaller down to nano size, and they're just grinding through. And these are so that many, no AP, that many saves on the Hive Tyrant. And it takes another wound. So I sandpaper a bit of kneecap off.
Now he's 2 up.
He's got 2. He doesn't take a wound. And that is the end of Tyranids, turn 1. I don't need a morale test here on the wraiths, because it didn't take enough. Leadership 10.
However,
I don't need a morale test on the warriors because you killed every single one.
I need a morale test. Because although I am in synaptic lynch range, I am not in synapse range.
Oh yeah, you're
synapse
beyond
is
6.
only 6 inches.
And they're going to need a morale as tap.
Yeah.
Well, the scarabs. So 3 plus 6 is 9. I pass.
Cool.
Or 5 is I pass.
So I lost 5, so I'm pretty sure I'm running.
I'm pretty sure you're running. Yeah, you're outside of 6. So 1 runs away and he gets followed by 1, 2, 3, 4 more. Wow.
5. You've just halved the unit.
Tagging that monolith turned out to be a really bad thing. However, secondary objectives. You've extended your battle lines. You currently control your home objective and 1 in no man's land. And you've also got the other one. Oh, and you've captured mine as well. Have you maxed out the secondaries? Yes, you have. You've extended the battle line, secured no man's land, and captured the enemy outpost. You are all across the table there. That's 15 points. The interesting thing about these secondaries, because I know you haven't played much Tempest of War, is you know you've scored 15 points now.
Yep.
If you score 15 points next turn and turn 3, that's 45 points. You can't score any more. Yeah. So what it does is if you score big early in the secondaries, then later on in the game when you get useless cards,
stopping you scoring.
Exactly.
I have to say, I do like Tempest of War.
It's a nice game.
I just think it takes away the building a list to specifically do secondaries.
Things, yeah,
it
exactly.
lets you just build a list and play what you're given.
Yeah.
It's got that open war feel.
And every game feels a little bit different. The defense protocols for the Necrons kick in, and here are the orders. Secure no man's land. Take any 2 objectives in no man's land. Assassinate. Kill characters. So there's a Hive Tyrant right in front of my lines, and the Parasite. Area denial. Make sure none of the swarm take over the middle of the board. That one's highly unlikely. Here we are at the end of the Necrons movement phase. I mean to kill a character, and there's a massive Hive Tyrant there, and the more tax thing there. And if I kill the Parasite thing, or more, whatever it's called, the Parasite, and take over this objective in the middle, I would have extended my battle lines as well. So that would be assassinate and extend battle lines. I had to advance with the warriors. They're going through here, and some are in the train here, and they can shoot out and kill as many of the little bugs as I can before I go charging in with the wraiths. Do you like that plan?
I do like that plan.
I like them apples.
I realised I forgot a thing.
What did you forget?
I forgot to spawn my little unit of Gribblies from my Mama Bug.
From Big Mama.
From Big Mama.
It's a free 70 points. How could you forget?
I forgot to do it.
See,
I was so excited.
I've never forgot to do that. What I forgot to do is use Hormagaunts. I've got down there's like 50 of them. And I run Kraken.
I think we're going to see some Hormigans, aren't we?
You said off camera they're the new Gene Stealers.
They are new Steelers. They behave like Steelers did in like the last book.
Yeah. You have to pay for them to give them the adrenal glands and the things.
Still only makes them 11 points a model.
No. Well, you saw what 20... Oh, yes,
20 of them, and you could have had 30.
I got 50 or something.
So
I'm just
blobber 20, blobber 30.
Coming to a Winter's SEO battle report soon is Winter's spamming Hormagaunts. Yes, put your thing down.
Thank you very much.
Put your little models down. Wraiths go in there. Oh, and I strung back. Some were back here anyway when I advanced with the warriors. The idea is that they can clear up the Hormagaunts that came charging through. The monolith's Titanic, so it can move, do a normal move. At the end of the movement phase, though, I get to use Citam Powers for the first time. I'm very excited. Where's the book? Here's the book. Cosmic Fire, Gaze of Death. Cosmic Fire, you roll a dice for every model within 9. He's within 9. Gaze of Death is you roll 3 dice because he's in 9.
Here it comes.
You got that? 4 dice.
Yeah.
Any 4s, and I get 1 4. that suffers D3 mortal wounds for 1 mortal wound. That was a big letdown, wasn't it?
That was unfortunate.
Right, now let's shoot some guns. Spending a CP on disintegration capacitors on these Gauss Reapers. 20 of them, well, 10 of them, which is 2 shots each, are firing into the Hormagaunts on 3s, and 6 auto wound. It's not bad. And these wound on 3s at AP -2. Now, that would normally go right through your armour, but you are in cover. 13 6s.
Saving on 6s.
There were 10 left.
That's 10 dead.
That's perfect. Perfect. Unless you want to command point it. And,
no, I'm good, cheers.
Okay.
You can murderate those ones.
Right, the other 20, I lined it up perfectly, are looking under the race and into this squad. And disintegration capacitors is still on the whole unit.
Yeah.
I'm quite pleased with myself. Honestly, this is about the first time ever I've been able to get ACP to affect 2 different units at the same time, other than something in the fight phase. It's like a pro gamer move. I don't know if I've mentioned it before. I try to stay humble, but up there I won a thing. I won this thing once. I was good once. Right, that many wounds. 1 minute. You don't have to count out the saves, because that's 15 wounds at AP -2, and they are definitely not in cover.
They are not.
Are they squads of 30?
They are, but that's quite important, because that kills enough of them to mean you can target her if you're on this side.
I kind of, yeah, actually. Yeah, she has a rule that you can't actually shoot her if there's too many bugs between her and you and me.
Between me and you, yeah.
Starfall Light was in range, whipped out, actually killed 2 of them. That's the end of my shooting phase, apart from the Monolith. Now, the Parasite doesn't have an invulnerable save, and he's a character, and he is on that objective there. Yes. And my race can kind of countercharge the big bug if he lives, instead of going that way. I won't get extend battle lines, but actually my Destroyer could do it. He's quite chonky. I could send him in.
You could.
If he's wounded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to particle whip the Mortax.
Yep.
And I'm gonna 4 death rays the Hive Tyrant.
Okie dokie.
Okay. So D6 shots with the particle whip onto that thing. 1. So let's command point that for a 4. Thank you.
Yes.
Didn't drain enough power to the whip there. Had to pull back on the lever.
Yeah.
Hits on 3s, and it's strength 12.
Oh, nice.
So it wounds all the times, and it's AP -3. You do get cover.
I do get cover.
6s. And you do save 1 of them, but it's a flat 3 damage each.
So 9
That's
damage.
9 damage. That's a dead parasite. We didn't even get to see what it did.
New model syndrome was
New
well
model
and
syndrome.
truly in effect.
That's assassinate. Let's try and assassinate another one. 4 death rays into the Hive Tyrant on 3s. Everything hits. These are strength 9.
9.
Only 2 wound though. 2 4-up and vulnerable saves. You make 1 fail one. Would you like to command point it?
Yep. No.
Okay, D3 +3. He takes 4 more damage. That puts him down to 5 wounds remaining, perfectly softened up for the charge from my Destroyer Lord, who charges in, unless you want to Overwatch. 3 shots hitting on 6s with rerolls at flat 5 damage.
Sounds like something we ought to do, doesn't it?
He does -1 all your damage coming in.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
You're going to do it. You're going to Overwatch.
I'm going to do it.
You can reroll all hits because of his thing.
Thank you. I got
1 hit, okay. It's definitely wounding on a 2. Because you're strength 12, I am toughness 6. 4-up and Vun. This would be a flat 5 damage.
It would.
How many wounds has he left? He's on 5 left.
5.
I think it is worth it. It's a flat 5 damage. It helps me.
It does save you there.
Then I charge in 8 inches with my Destroyer Lord, and my Wraiths are going to go in as well. I didn't bait you there with the Overwatch calls because they're not likely to hurt some Wraiths. We rounded off the charge phase with the Catan charging the big flying harpy thing. We're coming down here. I have to go first with my Lockhurst Destroyer Lord because you have a fight first.
I do have
on your Hive
first.
Tyrant. You have a fight first. Charge counts as a fight first. I'm the active player. I go first. So 3s to hit you with my War Scythe, and I reroll 1s. Yeah, reroll 1s is Destroyer. They really hate you. So 3 hits. And it's strength 7. You're toughness 7?
Yes, maybe.
Maybe.
Toughness 8.
Are they?
He's toughness 8.
I know.
He's toughness 8.
It's toughness 8. Always used to be toughness 7.
They did.
5s to wound and reroll 1s because that's what destroyers do. Right. Okay. 1 wound. AP -4, 2 damage. 4-up and vulnerable save. You make that. Now you have a fight first. He gets to strike my lock.
Fight,
yeah,
yes.
it's a free
Doesn't
interrupt
really matter,
basically.
That's fine. Yeah, that's cool. So 5 attacks.
Yes.
Hitting on 2s with rerolls.
Does he hit on 2s? He's really bracketed.
He doesn't hit on 2s. He's bracketed. Doesn't reroll ones, doesn't he?
Well, he rerolls hits.
Oh, he just rerolls hits with his... Yes, thank you. We'll get there in a minute.
Okay.
Wait.
What strength?
6 is auto wound.
Oh. Has he got toxin?
Not toxin sacks. 6 is explode for an additional hit because it's still the goaded to slaughter from...
Bum. Yeah, the Warriors thing is still in effect. That's,
yeah.
Strength 10, toughness 6, though. And toughness 6.
It's not so bad. It's not so bad. So it's 3s.
Okay. And I do get 4 up and vulnerable save. Would you like to command point any of them?
How many wounds you got?
Because you're flat 3 damage.
I am flat 3 damage.
I reduce all damage by 1.
By 1, so I'm good.
It's 2 damage each.
Only 2 damage
I think he's got 6 wounds.
6 wounds.
Yeah.
Go on, let's... there's nothing else I'm going to want to CP on, so I'm going to have one. And it's not going to make any difference.
Didn't work. 4 up and vulnerable saves. And that is 4 damage on my Destroyer Lord. I won't bother CPing anything.
No, you're still alive.
1 minute. You're probably going to smite me. So let's get some wounds. Okay.
Get another one.
You know, a smarter man would have charged with the monolith as well. Because that was nasty.
That was nasty.
Anyway, let's carry on.
And you could have sucked him into the other dimension.
I could have pulled him out of time and space itself.
It could.
I know.
How does that work? Could you actually suck the Hive Tyrant?
Well, it auto hits.
So it auto
At
hits.
strength 8, minus 3 damage.
Right.
And then as it degrades, it hits with less attacks.
Right.
But it always auto hits. It's always sucking people off into another dimension. So now the Wraiths will get to fight these little bugs. The Wraiths, 4 attacks each. But they only hit on 4s because they're not buff right now. However, they are strength 6 at AP minus 2. So this goes straight through the buggy armour. And interestingly, that leaves 2 little bugs left, which I've piled into. Because I think when Big Mama swarms them in, they have to be a certain distance from her and not in engagement.
They can be within engagement
range.
Can
they now?
If the unit's in engagement range, I can spawn into engagement range.
So if I don't do that, it probably blocks off
more places for me to put them.
Because it's only here, right?
Yeah.
Mind you, if you roll low, you're going to get
a couple. So yeah.
Catan, Nightbringer against a Harpy. What was that?
Ducky, Catan.
Nice. Overhand swing, hitting you on 2s. 5 hits. Toughness 7. Overhand swing.
Yeah.
Strength 14. Winning on 2s. They're all AP minus 4. They ignore invulnerable saves, and they do D6 damage each.
Wow.
Let's see what this does. That's what it does. 10, 16 damage on your Harpy. Does she lash out? Yeah, explode. The Harpy lashes out on a 6 when it dies. And it doesn't lash out. It gets taken out. We're checking in the book there. Because there is a strat that allows characters to fight at full bracket when they get taken out. But the Harpy is not a character. And that is the end of Necrons turn 1. Right, you had 15 points at the end of your first turn. I have extended the battle lines and killed a character. But I haven't got rid of this Hive Tyrant. That was really annoying. I've got rid of the Harpy, though, and almost an entire squad of little bugs who will not need to take morale because they stood next to Big Mama. You've still got a lot of Psychic left in your army with the Hive Tyrant and the Zoanthropes and the Neurothropes. However, at the start of turn 2, you were on lots of objectives.
I was, and I'm now not.
Now you're only on 1, which is interesting.
That's good work. You pushed me back really hard.
But I'm only on 2.
Yes.
Because I'm not on that one back there. So at the start of your turn 2, 20 points to 10.
Yeah.
Shall we find out what the will of the Hive Mind is? Here is the will of the Hive Mind. You've just spent a CP on new orders.
I have.
You can't complete those ones, sir, or Hive Mind, or it goes back up to the Hive chip.
It does.
Says that one's not possible. Blood and Guts kill 3 units in the fight phase and you get 5 points. That's quite easy. Raise a banner. Do an action. Let's say they're doing an action in no man's land. They're whittling on an objective. And for new orders, storm hostile objective. Take an objective that I control.
Right, that's a good one.
And in the command phase, she makes 2d6 more babies.
2d6 babies.
She puts 8 back. I wonder if you can all fit in there. It looks like they can all fit in there. And the little bugs managed to squeeze in just fine. And you're burning more CP. You haven't even moved yet.
Not moving. I'm eating my CP up today. So
right.
We're going to do rapid regeneration on the Hive Tyrant.
Okay, D3 back on. That's 3. That's good.
That's good. And then we're also going to spend Endless Swarm, which is 1 CP.
It is 1 CP. D3 plus 3 back here. For another 5 little bugs back there, because you can fit them this way.
Yeah. So that's cool.
And the other thing you're going to do, might as well mention that, in the command phase, you get to do your synaptic things.
Imperatives, yes.
And
I'm going to use the Turvigons one.
Yeah, and what does that do?
It gives them +2 to the move of everything in link range.
Yeah.
So, with the intention that we need to take a objective in no man's land and an 8-inch should get them there, and then they can do the action because they don't have to advance.
Because if they were moving 6, they'd have to advance onto it, and then they can't do an action.
Yes.
That's very clever, James.
Sneaky.
That's very clever. Coming around the Tyranid side of the table, here we are after the movement phase. You've stormed a hostile objective. Your objective secured. I'm objective secured. You outnumber me there. Right. So that's done. The other one was raising a banner, and we showed them move their way all the way over there, and they're raising a banner. And the other one is kill as many things as you want to in close combat.
Yes,
so do you want to talk us through the glorious plan?
The glorious plan is that the Hive Tyrant might, with a bit of luck, manage to smite the Destroyer Lord
yes.
to death.
Yes.
Maybe, if he's feeling lucky. If not, he can shoot into combat because he's a monster, so I can shoot him to death.
Yes.
If I manage to shoot him to death, I can charge something else.
Brilliant.
And that's his little bit done.
Okay.
Then we've got the blob of Zoanthropes with the +1 d6 from them, so they're getting 3d6 +3 for a smite. Smites
everywhere.
Toxic Scream.
Toxic Scream came through the wall after they moved up.
Yeah.
You've also buffed the warriors, so they got reroll hit rolls of 1 from the Hive Tyrant. Everything is in synaptic linchpin range, and you've also given these +1 to hit and shooting from the Turvigon. Getting all ready to basically remove the wraiths and push back hard into the Necron lines. Let's go on to the psychic phase. Catalyst first on the Hive Tyrant. Let's see if it passes this time. It passes this time. He's now got a 5-up shrug, and he's back to 7 wounds. 8 wounds. Really annoying. Smite.
Come on, big smite.
That's a little smite.
Little smite.
It does D3 mortal wounds to my 1 wound. My Destroyer Lord's on 3 wounds remaining. It's a good job that I used that CP reroll.
That was.
What are we going to do next?
We will do no point doing the Mega Smite. Let's do his smite.
Okay. You need a 6, but he has +1 to cast.
He does.
And so that's a super smite. Brilliant. D6 mortal wounds on the wraiths.
For the fat 6.
2 wraiths die. Just get evaporated by mind bullets. Neurothroat screams psychically now.
Psychic yelling.
That works. Another D3 mortal wounds. That's
1.
You tickle a wraith.
That's him done. Then we've got the Turvigon's smite, which now is the 3rd time, so we're going off on
closest to the wraiths.
Yep.
5, 6, 7. That's a normal smite. It's not greater than 10 D3 mortal wounds. That's pretty cocked. That's all 1. So 1 still left on 1 wound.
The final.
The big boys. +3 to cast here. 3d6 on the dice because of the Neurothroat.
Feeling lucky? No, we're not.
Oh. After casting multiple smites, you need an 8. So command point reroll. That's definitely an 8. +3, you're fine. Or that one. It's not a super smite though.
It's not going to be a super smite, but that's fine. Yeah, D3
+3. Yeah. That's 5. One was on. That's 2 more dead basically. One was on 1 wound, and it kills all the other one and puts the other one down to 2 wounds. There's 1 left. What was that?
Can you reanimate them?
Fight phase, shoot phase, not in psychic phase. That's been pointed out to me before. Right, so that's the end of the psychic mind bullets. That was painful. Now we're going to shoot some guns. The Hive Tyrant can only shoot into combat. Shall we start?
You might as well start with him.
Interesting that his big gun of doom is an assault weapon.
Yeah.
So he hits on 2s because he healed so much, and he re-rolls to hit. And at strength 12, he's going to wound on 2s. OMG.
-5.
Ooh. That's 5 damage, which becomes 4 damage and kills my lord before my destroyers have even stepped foot on the battle grid. He is the HQ of my army. Of course I'd want a command point reroll. He's going to be fine. See?
He is.
He's going to be fine. No wounds scored. He stands firm. So my destroyer lord hangs firm when coming onto little bugs, and you're firing at Wraith?
Yes,
got to kill the Wraith.
I'm thinking, is it worth 1 CP for Scorchbug, so I'm wounded on 3s?
You're wounded on 3s. You're only down to 2 CP left.
I know, but it's like...
I feel like that there's some spare gunfire that's going to go into the Wraiths.
Yes, let's not waste our CP.
They are hitting on 3s as well. You buffed them. And winning on 4s. And you only get 3 through?
3, yeah.
So on 1 wound remaining. Then the next little unit fired in. Caused 3 more wounds. 3 more saves. And you take down the Wraith.
It's out of there.
Wraith's gone. Now we're on to the Warriors and the Stinger Salvo from the Turvagon. Where are we starting with?
We'll do the Venom Cannon first.
Venom Cannon.
D3 shots.
Which Venom Cannon? Which unit firing?
That Venom Cannon at the...
Warriors, Catan.
Shiny new toy.
That's 3 shots. Hitting on 3s. And wounding on 3s. And I need 4 up saves. He takes 2 wounds. He's down to 7 remaining. There's only 1 Death Spitter in the squad as well, and that failed to wound the Catan. So now we've got the Trigon.
Turvagon.
Turvagon, Stinger Salvos, coming in hot, hitting on 3s. And winning on...
Strength 5.
3s. 5s, toughness 7. Toughness 7. 2 wounds. 2 4-up and buns. It fails 1, so it's lost 3 wounds. It can't lose any more in the shooting phase.
It's capped.
Okay.
Then we've
got Warriors here. And these ones shooting at a Monolith. These Warriors fire at the Warriors down here. Warriors on Warrior action. Here's the Venom Cannon.
D3 shots.
It's 3 shots. Lovely.
Yeah. Hitting on 3s.
Yep, winning on 2s. Strength 8.
2s.
And it is -2, but I am in cover in some of them. So let's put them on the ones in cover. Doesn't help me. 3 of them die. And then there's 2 Death Spitters in that squad, which is 6 shots. 3s and 3s.
3s.
3 hits.
3 1s. 3 1s and 2 6s.
And 3 wounds. 3 more saves at 5 up because of cover. I didn't save any. Reanimate on 5s. I reanimate 1, but Warriors reroll 1s. That's what they do for reanimation.
Funny.
So in the end, I reanimate 2. You killed 4.
Cool.
And then we have these guys. These Warriors fired at the Monolith and no damage caused. Toughness 8 with a 2-up save. Glorious thing. That is the end of the shooting phase for Kraken. They are swarming across the board and tearing chunks out of the Necron lines. Is there any charges coming on?
No. No, I can't get through there.
You could try and charge it. You charge it with the little ones.
I don't want to charge it with the little ones. They're on the middle objective.
Okay. So I can heroically intervene.
Yes.
I'll heroically intervene at the end of the charge phase. But you have a fight first unit. Your Hive Tyrant. That Destroyer Lord, by the way. New model. Never played with it before.
Oh, have you not?
3 wounds remaining. Hitting on 2s. And wounding on 2s. Because you're strength 12, right?
I am strength 12.
Okay. Or is it 2s or is it strength 10? I think
I am strength 10. 12 on the gun.
Yeah, 12 on the gun. I get more saves. Each of these doing 3 damage. I need 4 up in buns. If I command point reroll this, that 3 damage becomes 2 damage and he lives.
You're live in.
50-50 chance. He is the Lord, the Destroyer Lord of the Cadian Dynasty. He shall not fall. Except this time he definitely does fall because the Winged Hive Tyrant takes it down in round 2. Rubbing salt into the wounds, the Hive Tyrant then piles into the Warriors. It does get them to allow them to fight, but no fallback and shooting unless I veil the darkness or things like that. It's a once per battle thing. Yeah. We're coming down to the Catan. Now, he might as well not do his overhand swing.
Oh no, because no, do the overhand swing.
No. I do the little swing, which doubles from 6 to 12 attacks. 16 bugs to get through. I hit on 2s for 11 hits, and then it's strength 7. If you -2 or 3, wounds on 2s. And I failed 4 times. You managed to. It's okay. 7 little bugs die. There'll still be many left. And at the end of the fight phase, it looks like this. So you don't want to be in engagement range.
No.
No?
No.
Okay. That leaves him like this. I fought back with the Warriors over here. Did a couple of wounds to the Hive Tyrant, which tanked. And that's the end of your turn too.
End of turn.
So at the end of Tyranid's turn 2, you've started to kill things for blood and guts in the fight phase. You destroyed my Destroyer Lord. You have taken this objective here and raised a banner over the other side. So it wasn't 20 points, the Nids. No morale to take here either, by the way. You're on 30 points.
30 points.
I'm only on 10. And at the start of turn 2, I'm not on any primary objectives. I get 0 points for the primaries. Ouch. As we go into Necron's turn 2.
Guys to get out though, haven't you?
I've got guys to get out. Yeah, Necron's turn. Yes.
I was just looking, thinking.
You've got
more.
Death Leaper.
Turn 2 Death Leaper didn't arrive.
Necron protocols kick in one more time. No prisoners, just kill 30 wounds worth of stuff for 3 points. Well, I want to kill stuff and bring it down. Destroy the biggest thing on the battlefield, the Turvagon. The Catan is right next to it. Extend battle lines, hold my objective and one in no man's land. All of these are doable. So here we are after the Necron's movement phase. The Catan is moving around to bring it down on Big Mama. At the end of the movement phase, he's going to do a lot of mortal wounds to everything within 9 inches of himself. That's at least the plan. For extending my battle lines as well, I need to control 1 in no man's land. Well, I had a unit of 4 scarabs left, and now I outnumber you on that objective.
You do.
But I have to control my one as well. So I used my Veil of Darkness to jump back. Never done this before either. Normally jumping all over the board
all
forward.
Over the place.
But I've jumped back. So I'm now on this objective. So you've got to hold yours and 1 in the middle to extend battle lines. And I will be able to fulfill the will of the Cryptek by shooting at the Hive Tyrant that rudely assaulted me. Veil of Darkness isn't a full back move. No. So I can still shoot. And in the command phase before I jumped, he put 1 back in. Yep. So there's 17 there. That's 34 guns, lots of guns. And then I spent a CP on Prismatic Dimensional Breach. Pick a unit that's in strategic reserves. At the end of the movement phase, the reinforcement step, they come out. And I can charge. It's like they just disembarked from that vehicle.
Out they come.
This game's brutal.
It's really savage.
Talking about brutality, we're going on to the Catan. So I want to kill the Turvagon. So Gaze of Death on the Turvagon. Any 4s I rolled.
Is that 3d6 mortals?
3d3.
3d3
Every
mortals.
4 up does d3 mortal wounds. So Gaze of Death does a mere 4 mortal wounds to you. You're okay.
That's all right.
Okay? And then I've got the other one, Cosmic Fire. Now, I made sure everything was within 9 inches, which you were very kindly to do, except for that unit there.
Yeah.
And on a 4 up, not that unit, the Warriors, the Neurothrope, yes, the Little Swarm of Bugs, yes, the Toxicrene, no, the Big Swarm of Bugs, no, and Big Mama, no. So everyone else takes D3 mortal wounds. Okay. D3, D3, D3. Then we rolled off camera. I only managed to get 1 wound on the HQ there, the Neurothrope, but killed a warrior, killed a couple of bugs. That's not bad for psychic powers that aren't really psychic powers. Now we're going to shoot some guns, and we're going to start off with this big swarm of warriors down here, loading disintegration capacitors 1 more time, because you're toughness 8, right? So 6s to hit will auto wound. I mean, it's the only thing we're firing at. And I hit on 3s, looking for 6s. A bunch of 6s, only 4 5s in the row. These need 5s. Okay, that many at -2 on your Hive Tyrant. He has got Catalyst though. You're going to be fine. So 4 up saves you need. That's not good.
That's not great.
So
Catalyst. I think you just used up all the 6s then, mate.
I hope so. Well, no, I hope not. Ooh, Catalyst only kicked in once. Takes the Hive Tyrant down to 2 wounds remaining, so the Staff of Light lashes out and hits once, and, well, doesn't hit. That's how many shots and it doesn't hit. Well, I've started so I finish. I was going to put some shots this way with the Monolith, but honestly, the Warriors, the Scorpec Destroyers, should be able to mop up a fair chunk of that. But do I just trust and throw them into the Zoanthropes because they have a 4-up invulnerable save, or... Zoanthrope, just Zoanthrope. I think I need to kill him. He definitely needs to die. So I'm going to put 4 Death Rays into him. And do I bother shooting this way? I think so. The Warriors could hurt my Warriors.
Yeah.
So 4 Death Rays into Hive Tyrant, and I only hit twice. So I'm going to command point that, put me down to 2 command points left, and I've only wounded twice. Well, I wound once. I wound once. I hit twice, wound once, 4-up invulnerable save. And you fail it. Do you want to command point it? And I'll put you down to 1 left.
Command point.
And that's okay. That's okay. I'll go with that. That's fine. He's still on 2 wounds remaining. Now, see, I just remembered. I can charge you with the Monolith, remember? And suck you off into my dimension. So the whip comes this way. Actually, can I actually see them? Because ruins are a thing. Can't shoot through there. So I want to charge the destroyers into them. So if I can kill the warriors by shooting them, that would be lovely. So it only has 2 shots this time, which hit on 3s, and at strength 12, I'll wound on 2s. And it's AP -3, 3 damage. It does annihilate one warrior, but doesn't kill the second one. And I think that's the end of my shooting phase. I'm not going to charge in with the scarabs into these warriors here. They will live for now. I will charge the Scorpic destroyers into only the zoanthropes because I want to put all my attacks into zoanthropes and kill them. They're nasty. I will charge the monolith into your big mama, the Hive Tyrant. Any Overwatch coming on? And the Catan, obviously, into the Trigon because I bring it down. You're not burning your last CP to Overwatch. No, you haven't got enough CP to interrupt. No. So I guess we should start with the destroyers down here. Now, their normal weapons are strength 5. Hello.
I have fight first on the Hive Tyrant.
You do have fight first on the Hive Tyrant.
You still get to pick one first.
So I have to pick my monolith first.
You're welcome.
And I auto hit you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
6 times.
It's what we do.
I need to wound you now. At strength 8. This was problematic when I tried to shoot you. Maybe the monolith just wanted to build your corpse inside. I'm spending another command point going down to 1 remaining. And I wound you once. If you fail this save, you're dead.
And I can CP it.
You can CP it. 4 up. You're dead. Last command point.
Oh, how much is the fight on death to fight at my top bracket? Because if it's 1 CP, it's a better use of that CP.
What, him fighting on death?
Yeah. It's 2, I can't do it.
Death frenzy. Yeah. He's alive!
He's alive!
At least he's bracketed and things. So he gets the fight now.
He does.
Hopefully he's hitting on 4s.
5 attacks hitting on 4s.
Brilliant. Okay.
Rerolling.
So you do. You reroll attacks. Or the attacks, so attacks. Strength 10, toughness 8. Wow. -4.
-4, 3 damage.
6s. I make 1. 3 damage each. That's 12 damage off the monolith. It starts with 24. You've hacked it down in half. And I tried to pull you inside my nice room and sit you down and show you some Netflix and something in front of the monolith TV, but you said no.
TV. No!
But you've got no command points left.
I've not. They're all gone.
And I've got 1 command point left. And the normal weapons on Scorpex are strength 5.
Yep.
And I can spend a CP to increase the strength of a core unit. They're core now. So let's do that. Here's the 4 destroyers with Hyperphase Threshers. Destroyers reroll hit rolls of 1, and I've rolled a Yahtzee of 2s. It's 10 2s, James.
10 2s.
These win on 3s. That's it.
You're adding some more 2s in?
-3, 2 damage.
4 up months.
That'll kill 1.
It kills 1.
And put 1 down to 2 wounds remaining. And then I have the Reap Blades. And these hit on 3s and reroll 1s. And there's 3 more 2s. I'm going to burn these dice. And wound on 3s. And those are 4 up and vulnerable saves again. Please fail more. You didn't fail any more. I only killed 1 and put 1 down to 2 wounds remaining. That was very disappointing. I didn't kill them in the fight phase.
Still can't interrupt.
I haven't killed your Hive Tyrant in the fight phase. Maybe a Catan can slay Big Mama in the fight phase. So, I have 6 attacks and I hit on 2s. He hits all the times. Strength 14, I need 3s to wound you. She's a tough old bird. And I wound 5 times. I think you actually get a save. It's -4, you still get 5 6-up saves. You got 5 dice?
Got 5 dice. You good?
How many? Ooh. None. This is 5d6 damage. I already wounded her.
She's
with my psychic stuff.
14.
For bring it down. It's 22 damage. And she lashes out when she dies. Have you got a 6?
That one looks like you touched it and it might roll me a 6.
It doesn't roll a 6. She just gets wiped out. Finally, I managed to bring one thing down. It is the bring it down target.
We don't get synaptic backlash from her anymore.
You don't, no. No more losing little bugs when she dies. Then the Zoanthropes head-butted my warriors back, and that is the end of Necrons turn 3. I had extend battle lines, and I've extended it with my scarabs and my warriors over here. I had bring it down and took out Big Mama.
We did. She's gone.
She's gone. I've also got no prisoners. I killed 30 wounds worth of stuff. I killed 33 wounds worth of stuff. So I actually max out my secondaries, making it 25 points to the Necrons and 30 points to the Tyranids as we go on to Tyranids. Turn 3. James picks up another 15 points on the primaries at the start of turn 3, making it 45 points for the Tyranids to 25 points to the Necrons. And here are the orders. Blood and Guts, continue to kill stuff.
Yeah.
2 more things for 5 points. Deploy Teleport Homer. Do an action in my deployment zone, and there is a Death Leaper that can do that. He won't be deploying a teleport. He's leaving spores and things.
Yeah, leaving his scent.
And then bring it down, kill the monolith. Here we are after the movement phase for the Tyranids. This unit has moved up on that objective they whittled on last turn, raised a banner. And the Death Leaper has come back here to deploy Teleport Homers or whittle on the side of this building. Now, you put him danger close to the Warriors because you're figuring like in the next turn he could charge off an Advent.
He could.
Potentially. Over here, the Warriors standing firm on that objective.
Yep.
And your other secondaries are to take down the monolith, and you're hoping the Hive Tyrant can do that in close combat. He's doing the Teleport Homer whittling thing, so that's that. And you just need to kill another 2 things in the assault phase. There's some moving around here. Your warrior's still out of close combat, and the Zoanthropes are still locked in combat. I think you're thinking about sending Mr. Wiggly Arms.
I think Mr. Tickle's heading in.
But first, we need a psychic phase. Oh, you're going to rapid regenerate your Hive Tyrant one more time. D3 wounds back. And that's only 1 wound back. And you needed anything but a 1 or 2 because he's currently on his lowest bracket. But he's got some psychic stuff. So the Hive Tyrant smites are 5. And what is that?
That's a 1.
Brilliant.
No, so he doesn't get that.
Oh dear, he's going to have to do the monolith in close combat.
And then Catalyst.
On himself?
Yep.
And that fails as well. He's got one hell of a headache.
The hive mind power is failing.
It's been sucked away from him into the Eternity Gate.
Neurothrope is going to do Smite first.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Well, he gets +1 to cast. But that is a double 1, so it's a
reroll 1s anymore, isn't it? It's a shame it's not reroll 1s.
Yeah.
Still fails to cast. And then his Psychic Scream. I might change dice.
Okay.
They're naff as well.
Okay. Well, you don't perils with your +1. Perils. But that didn't work.
That has not been the successful fight. What's it we wanted?
Zoanthropes.
3d6, pick the highest, +2 now. Oh, wow.
Add 2. Well, he tried to smite as a 5, 6, 7, and with +2 to cast, that's a 6. Even they forget. Wow. The psychic phase is a bust.
That is an absolute...
There must be some Blackstone on this table somewhere,
I think so.
Draining away the psychic energy.
Wow.
So now we're going on to the shooting phase. Hive Tyrant shooting at a monolith, point blank range. It's the only thing he can shoot at. He hits on 4s, and he re-rolls.
Luckily, the dice have abandoned me.
2 get through. At minus...
Strength 12.
1 strength 12, toughness 8. 2 get through. At -5, 5 damage. The monolith's on 2 wounds left. Then we ran through the remainder of the shooting phase. Everything in the middle could only really shoot at the Catan because someone parked a monolith in the way of the rest of my army. And he managed to take the obligatory 3 wounds off in any phase. He's down to 4 wounds remaining. The warriors around here fired over the top of the scarabs in front of them and managed to take out 3 of my warriors holding on to my objective. Yeah. Now we're on to the charge phase. So these warriors charged the scarabs right below the monolith, and the Toxicrene, yeah, he's an inch away.
He's going to park sideways.
Sideways, yeah. Those are charging units, but your Hive Tyrant fights first. So he's hitting on 4s.
Look, he's re-rolling.
And he wounds on 3s. 1 wound. AP -4, was it?
Flat 3 damage.
So 6 up save or the monolith goes bye-bye, and this is your bring it down.
This is my bring it down.
And this is 350 points of monolith. The monolith dies. Does it blow up? It doesn't blow up. The monolith falls, and then we have the Toxicrene versus the Nightbringer. He hits on 3s with many attacks. And unless it's a vehicle, always winning on 2s. And the Catan is definitely not a vehicle. 4 up invulnerable saves, each one doing 1 damage. And take 2 more wounds off the Nightbringer. It's down to 2 wounds remaining.
At the start of the fight phase?
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
You can do mortal wounds on a 4 up.
On a 4 up?
Yes. So 50-50 chance to take the last wound off. You don't take the last wound off. It's got 2 wounds remaining. Then defenders get to fight. So my Scorpec destroyers will have a go at your things once again. And when I say things, I mean zoanthropes. I hit better this time, but I wound on 4s because no extra strength. So 5 invulnerable saves, each doing 2 damage. That's the squad. Not going to pile into your destroyer because that gives me choices to pile into other things. I think that's it for attacking models. So the Catan gets to fight back. Yeah. That's the wiggly arms. I hit you on 2s. Overhand swing. I hit you 5 times.
Oh yeah.
What?
It's -1 to be hit.
Is it?
But you didn't roll any 3s.
Brilliant. And I wound you on... Is he toughness? I think he is toughness 8.
He is toughness 8.
That many wounds. Toughness 8, but a 3 up save. So it goes straight through. Ooh. Just like you almost did to the monolith. D6 damage a time. And I think it's still alive. It is still alive. On 4 wounds remaining. Leaking pus and filth all over the Catan. We've got to do the charge over here. Your warriors. Into my scarabs. A bajillion Silent Talons attacks. Have these guys got adrenal glands?
They haven't.
No, so they will be winning on 3s. I won't get a save. Pretty good. Kills 2 bases. I get to reanimate. Kills 1 base. That was odd, wasn't it?
That was a lot.
I get to scratch your back. Looking for 6s, really. And that'll wound on it. No. 2 4-up saves. Okay, so you're fine. There's a scarab base there on 2 wounds remaining. That is the end of the fight phase in turn 3. What an absolutely brutal game. Savage. You did take down the monolith for Bring It Down. How many things have you actually killed in close combat? The monolith being 1 more. I think you've only killed 2 in close combat, so you still haven't got blood and guts. You have got the objective back there for whittling in the back corner, however. That makes it 55 points to the Tyranids, to 25 points to the Necrons at the end of Tyranids' turn 3. At the start of my turn 3, I'm only going to get that objective down there. 30 points to 55. So I'm 25 points behind as we go on to Necrons' turn 3. It's still a long way over, and these secondary objectives, some of them are doable. I have blood and guts now, kill stuff in the fight phase. I seem to be quite good at that, with a Catan at least. No retreat, no surrender. Don't fail morale or fall back or move on from the objective that I control. I can do that as well. And Battlefield Supremacy, take any 3 objectives. These are doable as well. I like it. Alright, here we are after my movement phase. This fella's a problem for tomorrow's winters.
Yeah, he is.
He can come charging through and kill my Cryptek. He's done all he can now, I think. He's done my Veil of Darkness. He put another 3 models back in there, which is quite nice. He hasn't fallen off of the objective that he controls, and I haven't fallen off of that objective there with the Scarabs. But I'm still on it, but you're not fighting me, which is nice. So I should still get no retreat, no surrender, so long as I don't fail a morale test. As for Battlefield Supremacy, I need to take 3 objectives, so I can take the middle one there with my destroyers, and then I just need to kill stuff in the fight phase, like with my destroyers. I'm a Catan. Should be okay, right?
Should be.
But first, he does lots of D3 mortal wound injury things. Your Zoanthrope is outside.
Yep.
And what I'm going to do is, I want to kill that in close combat. I don't want to kill it with my D3 things. Because
he's got 4 left, so he's alright.
Yeah. So I think I'll do the extra one on them.
Oh, there's an extra.
So just D3 on that one, on a 4-up, like that. So your Toxicrene takes 2 mortal wounds. He's down to 2 left, perfectly softened up. And then he does D3 to this one on a 4. So you lose 2 of those little bugs. The little bug's back there. 2 of those little bugs. The little bug's right next to me. None of those. And then what I was going to do actually is the Cosmic Firestorm, not the Cosmic Firestorm, the Gaze of Death, the Nightbringer specific one. If I can kill them with Psychic Might, which isn't Psychic, then they could charge both of them and still be on the objective. I think that's a plan, because I have objective secured and he's nasty. So 4s. So I get 2, which means 2d3 on the little bugs, and there's 6 there. And now there's 4 still there. That didn't work. But I tried. Now I've got a CP back this turn. So we're going to do the disintegration capacitors one more time. So 6 is auto wound. And I'm going to fire a chunk on them because I need to outnumber you on that objective.
Yep.
And a chunk at your Hive Tyrant. Right. 8 dudes shooting your warriors on 3s. 6 is auto wound. 3s to wound. No, 4s to wound. Your toughness 5. So they're -2. You're in a crater. You get 6 5-up saves. And I kill 1. Just 1. That's enough. I actually was cutting that fine because now I outnumber you on that objective. That was cutting it very fine. Right. All these shots at him. Warriors at Hive Tyrant on 3s. Need those 6s. How many 6s? I've got 4 6s. That's all right.
5 6s.
5 6s? And these wound on 5s. That's really good. Hopefully that's the end of the Hive Tyrant. Let's face it, it is my turn 3. He's been hanging around for a very, very long time. 11 4-up saves. Drop dice and cap. Did he just take 2 wounds?
He just took 2 wounds.
That's a beautiful thing.
And he didn't get his catalyst up.
He's on 1 wound remaining. Do I actually charge him? I'm thinking about charging him. Okay. That's the end of my shooting phase. The Scorpic Destroyers need to charge both of these units down here. And the Warriors, you see. Because I'm hitting on 3s and wounding on 6s.
There.
If I charge him with my Warriors.
So I thought these were wounded on 6s. I was like,
no. The Warriors. And he's got a 2-up save. So I'm very unlikely to kill him. So he will survive for another turn.
Yeah.
So we went into the fight phase. The unit of destroyers managed to take out that 1 warrior and the little bugs. We're going on to the Toxicrene. At the start of the fight phase, though, on a 4-up, he does D3 mortal wounds to the Nightbringer.
For 1.
For 1 mortal wound to the Nightbringer, putting the Nightbringer down to 2 wounds remaining. And then he gets to attack with his 12 attacks with his wiggly arms. Can he do it? He hits on 4s.
Is he 4s? He's bracketed. He's hitting on 5s.
Okay. But he's winning on 2s. That's the scary part. 3 hits come through. Can you wound? You wound once. You got no CP.
Nothing left.
And make the save. The Nightbringer's on 2 wounds remaining. He gained a wound last turn with living metal. He doesn't degrade. He hits you back on 2s. He rolls 3 1s. He wounds on 2s. You don't get a save. Only 1 wound gets through because it's AP -4.
1 remaining.
And he does D6 damage for 6 damage.
He's not on 6 remaining.
Does he lash out and take out the Nightbringer as he falls?
I hope he does. It'll make me so happy.
No. And that is the end of Necrons, turn 3. Okay, that was successful. I've now killed 3 things in the fight phase for blood and guts. And I have got battlefield supremacy because I'm on 3 objectives. And James is only on 2. Down here, there's a field of little bugs, some warriors and a zoanthrope, and that's it. But on the other end, he's still got 2 warriors stood here, and an unkillable Hive Tyrant and a Death Leaper lurking in the corner of the battlefield. That makes it 40 points to 55 in favour of the Tyranids. I don't want to fail morale. I'll get an extra 5 points as well for no retreat, no surrender. So let's find out what the will of the hive mind is for this dwindling swarm. The will of the hive mind is to kill 1 more thing in the fight phase and do an action in the centre of the board, which will be really tricky. And defend the stronghold. Make sure you don't lose the Tyranid objective by the end of the Necron turn. Interestingly enough as well, James can only score 10 more points on the secondaries to max them out. And he's got 2 turns in which to do so. Here we are at the end of the Tyranids movement phase. In turn 3, you've healed again 1 more time, the Hive Tyrant.
Got the big one this time.
Back up to 4 wounds. And the noose is closing around on the Catan and the Destroyers in the middle. Meanwhile, in the backfield, the Nightbringer is loping through the ruins. Psychic phase, Neurothrope, trying to kill the Catan. And that passes. It does D3 mortal wounds. There's a dead Catan, and it blows up on a 4. And it blows up.
Oh, he does.
Then we ran through the Hive Tyrant psychic powers. He's put Catalyst on himself 1 more time and smitten into the unit of destroyers. And along with the explosion from the Catan, One of the destroyers is wiped out. The Zoanthrope and some of the little Gribblies are wiped out. That's the end of the psychic phase. Mind bullets going bang bang. Now we have the relic cannon. Start the shooting phase, firing into the warriors. You hit on 3s because you healed him, and you rerolled a hit. And you're actually going to be killing on 2s at -5 damage.
Oh!
Okay. 2 down, reanimation. 3 are left. Then remaining shots came in from the warriors and from the bugs that could shoot in at the destroyers, leaving only 2 warriors left, 2 destroyers left in the middle of the battle grid. And over here, some warriors cleared up one of the bases, one of the scarab bases. Now we're going on to the charge phase. Then at the end of the fight phase, the Death Leaper went through the Technomancer with ease. He doesn't even have an invulnerable save. And in fact, the warriors outscoring that objective. The Death Leaper score that objective. These warriors went into this unit of scarabs down here and put them down to 1 base remaining, and you control that objective. The Hive Tyrant charged the 2 remaining destroyers in the middle and cut them down. And you're on every single objective across the battlefield. And all that is left for the Necrons is a unit of 17 warriors. It is a victory for the Tyranids, and we say this is the way the world ends. At the end of that round, I would have got another 5 points for no retreat, no surrender, putting me up to 45 points, but there really is no point in continuing because you've maxed out the secondaries on 45 points. You've got 30 on the primaries. In fact, by the end of the last turn, you're going to max out the primaries as well because you're going to be on 3 objectives there. Playing a perfect game.
What a savage game.
James from marchofwar.co.uk.
Thank you very much.
Also available on eBay.
Also available on eBay.
March of War on eBay.
Yeah, March of War on eBay.
Yeah, that was a savage game. There were so many clutch moments, like the monolith doing its thing and the Hive Tyrant surviving, and he was mean.
He wouldn't die, would he? He just kept coming back a little bit more.
He just kept coming back, and you spent a lot of CPs on regenerating him. But what a boss! He should have a name.
He should have a name. I always find it really difficult to name Tyranids.
Yeah.
Like, when I was younger, I used to write like Mr. Chompy and that sort of thing on the bottom of the bases, and I always say it's a bit. I don't know.
Well, clearly he's the biggest, nastiest bully in the playground. So a bullyish, I don't know, Tarquin.
Tarquin the Hive Tyrant.
Have you met Tarquin? He's a bit of a thrash.
He's a bit of a thug.
He's yes. I liked some of the moves I was able to pull off this time with the monolith, and I like the Catan.
The Catan was amazing. It
just keeps going. I think you've got to try and kill it all in one hit because you can only take 3 wounds off a turn, and then with Living Metal he gets a wound back again.
That one back, you're back to the beginning, even if you because I did him 3 the first time.
I mean, he boshed Big Mama.
Yeah.
And he boshed the Toxicrene.
Yeah.
Took him a bit longer to do that.
How many points is he?
360 or something.
He's enough points, but she's like 200-ish and Toxicrene.
No, she's 215, but she's not really. Yeah, she's really 235 because you get, or 245 because you get 73 little bugs running around all over the place. Yeah. Which, to be fair, I've played a bit of Tyranids. I'm liking the Tyranids at the moment. Do you like the new Tyranid book?
I love the Tyranid book. It's just, other than the couple of little broken things that people have picked up on, I think it's a really well done book. I think the books within Ninth, it's actually getting quite interesting because I think if you put all the books of Ninths next to each other, internally, I think they're actually fairly well balanced.
The Ninth books are a level above broken.
They're all mean.
So, as long as you fight with another broken type thing.
They're all broken.
Yeah, because you think Zoanthropes are bad. Well, wait until you go up against Zoanthropes and 3 Maleceptors. Yeah. They are really crazy, and then you give them Leviathan and things. Hormagaunts. I'm going to be playing with Hormagaunts. Let's make them pricey and use them as the new Gene Stealers. Hormagaunts for the win, people. There's other ways to bring the Tyranid list as well. You can go with the Monster Mash list. That's quite viable.
Yeah,
Screaming Killers are scary.
Screaming Killers are bad.
I'm lacking gun in my Necron list because Lockhurst Destroyers are locked behind a vault somewhere at Games Workshop, and they're not releasing the new models yet.
Yes.
Maybe by the time this video comes out. They will be out, or maybe hell would have frozen over first. I don't know. I mean, it was 5 years until Chaos Space Marines got a wound.
Yeah, exactly.
5 years on one
It's not
build.
long to wait. They're traitors. They've got to pay some penance.
Exactly. I mean, 5 years ago, I was still in my 40s, so...
Exactly.
It's not long ago.
I was looking at the list because I was quite concerned when you put the monolith on that out, and I was sort of like, oh no, maybe I should have brought an X-Creen or a Tyrannofex or something, but...
No, I think it was a good list. You had lots of punch, and you didn't overdo it on the psychic. You're showing a different way to play with Tyranids, and I think we showed off quite a few little things there. I'm sure we made a chunk of mistakes, but 9th edition is complex. Anyway, if you enjoyed that battle report, please consider subscribing to Deployment Zone or becoming a channel member and helping support me. There is, what was I going to say? What was I going to say?
Oh no!
Battlemat, that was what I was going to say. Battlemats from urbanmats.com, because I know I haven't mentioned them yet. They're good people. This is actually my favourite battlemat. I forget which one it's called, because it's so generic. You can put hills on it and towns on it and things like that, and it doesn't wash out all the light. And of course, all the lovely terrain and things, and all the bases that you see before you were made by James from March of War. You're a talented mofo.
Thank you very much, dude.
Long may it continue, so I can continue getting stuff
you
off
can,
you. Because
I'm always happy to support you.
do like
it's lovely
your
to
stuff.
come and play, and it's lovely to see it all on the table. And
Yeah. I feel like I've been a few rounds. Should we get a cup of tea?
I think it must be tea o'clock.
Happy wargaming.